So first, I want to start out with mentioning that. First, I want to start out with mentioning that maybe my shirt is a little bit too provocative. There we go. Um, we've talked about. We have not talked about anything because I have no dialogue with anybody. But I have said before that I'm not perfect and that I do learn from whatever mistakes I've made in the past. I didn't plan to do anything inappropriate or hurt anybody at any point in my life. And I still want to be that way. I want to be the person that is just like the adventure, just open to whatever is coming next. Either way, um, it kicks my ass a lot when I think about when I think I had an abortion once, and I thought at the time, well, this guy doesn't want to have a baby with me. What am I supposed to do? Like he doesn't want to, as opposed to I already had two kids, my two kids, and I've never forced anybody to have kids with me. I've always just like sort of, if it's gonna be a good thing, then it's gonna be a good thing. If it's not gonna be a good thing, then it's like it's really weird. Okay. Okay. So this is sunny Los Angeles. No more shadows, at least. Okay. So um so I stopped seeing the guy. That's how I punish myself for having had an abortion, because I don't want my aborted baby. I don't know if it was an abort, like, to me at the time it was not about an aborted baby. It was more about, it's just a fetus. It's a fetus, and it doesn't have any life or anything like that, and nothing can come of it. It's the same thing as taking the pill. It's the same thing as a natural abortion where you just can't carry a baby. Um, I had two kids at the time, and didn't have any prior abortions. I didn't know what it was like to. But when I think about my daughter, for example, and even other younger people that may be looking for leadership in this position, it's awful, because then you'll hear about how tests are done on the embryos, and you're just like and they're like remained. It's ridiculous. It's not just ridiculous. It's like um it's a truth that is actually um possibly twisted to make it be a little bit more acceptable, but and then I thought, well, you were willing to throw your embryo away. I was willing to throw my embryo away. That's so sad. Wow. Like my whole embryo, probably about the size of like, and I have no idea what the heck. I I feel that so I'm not here to really I'm going to make good with God about that by not sleeping with that man again, period. He can go on and get anybody else impregnated and have as many abortions with anybody else as he wants, but he's not going to have a permanent relationship, at least not with anybody that has any self-respect for themselves, because it was a two-way decision, and that's that. And that's fine. Either way, I'm going to make good with God by not seeing him, and by also making sure that other people know that this was my situation. I wasn't proud. I was innocent. I was not aware of anything that can actually happen. Um, you think that you go out there and you meet somebody that is in a position that you want to, that you want, or you, not that because you want it, but that because you project yourself in that position and you think, well, this guy has got to be a good person because that's what I want to do. I mean, this is the career I want to pursue. He's got to be a good person. And they're not when it comes to personal relationships. And if they're so good, they should not be disrespecting anybody. And in my case, I should not be putting myself in a position where I am seen as a person whom is disrespectful. So that's kind of the idea behind that. Um, so yeah, it's very sunny out there. Either way, I also want to get into like my rants. Should we call them my antics? Uh, let's get into my antics, Karen. But let me check my email first. Oh, okay. All right, so I'm just going to start reading from the notes. Again, it's just about whatever was happening today. So I'm going to go through and try and be as cohesive as possible. Of course, it all blends eventually, and I'll try and wrap it up. We're going to start with the contradictions from politicians. From politicians, Democrats have learned to perform with their hands tied behind their backs. Okay, making them incompetent, futile, and useless imbeciles. Let me repeat. Democrats have learned to perform with their hands tied behind their backs. They're incompetent, futile, and useless imbeciles. So I kind of feel that maybe, especially when we live in such diversity, we're cornered a little bit. So I'm thinking, cornered much? Yeah, cornered much? Uh, any old mayor and a politician? Well, leads to okay, so this leads to premeditated entrapment, leads to premeditated, you're you're premeditating entrapment. It's not like you're even letting the police officers the chance to entrap a person. You are already, like you're saying from day one, but you are the victim and but you, so you have to, it's like, I'm going to get there eventually. It comes to me and then it just goes. But at the same time, same idea, same path, same process thought. You're cornered and you can't think for yourself. Leads to premeditated entrapment. And then the leaders out there, the leaders such as Lori Lightfoot, um, oh my God. Yeah. Okay. So these are not people that are necessarily um, and have the spirit to be in a leader. They're not. Okay. So I'm trying to, like, at the same time in my head create a defense for like people that aren't leaders, and I'm thinking like, why aren't you leaders and you want to be in a leadership position? And I'm thinking like, why would you be in a leadership position if you're not a leader? I don't know. I really don't. Okay, so let's consider hidden agendas and the likely type to conceal motives. They're likely to conceal motives. Okay, so right, so premeditated, and there's motives, and everybody has those motives, and everybody has to think about who's who and etc. And I am going to be very straight up with you, as I always have, is as an adult, when I left my home, I think the dirtiest thing I've ever done is to have an abortion, and that's what I'm telling you. And I'm not really running for anything. I'm just like trying to enlighten everybody to like think, because the main message behind this topic is we must all cultivate our own mind. And this is actually a reading from Voltaire. So this is something that I took from Voltaire. So I'm not, and I love it. And it's like, that's so true. You have to take, you have to cultivate your own mind. So let's not be cornered, because nobody corners baby. Love that t-shirt, by the way, whoever created that. Props to you. Okay, so let's consider hidden agendas and the likely type to conceal motives, political contradictions. This is all political contradictions, and it all has to come. It all comes down to the fact that um, we can always surpass anything that is man-made. Especially when it regards um, politics, in order to accomplish a better world. And when you can do that, when you can surpass anything that is something that you can attain and own for yourself, it's always going to end up being something that is going to be a little bit more. Well, let's get to the next section. Actually, let's talk about health. Of course, health. Of course, elderly get their immunity depleted. No brainer. With that said, I am too. Huh? Oh, with that said, I am to ensure that, like me, that my kids also strengthen their immunity. So I'm totally for natural immunity. It's not. It doesn't have to be herd immunity. I mean, I'm thinking um, eventually, you know, some people are just not going to keep up, and so we have to keep up. But this is disgusting, actually. And not disgusting, but this is sort of not a very, I guess, anything that I would actually. Okay. let's just say I don't really have the technical term for being more of a, I guess, holistic and natural person, and to disclaim the possibility that, say, high paid officials are just holding down. All right. They're holding down the fort. Fort for what? What fort is Fauci holding, by the way? Talking about health. Is Dr. Fauci holding any fort? What fort? Because as far as I'm concerned, and from what I've seen, is China can create any old virus, and then we're all supposed to be responsive to it. And so how is Dr. Fauci even relevant? And at this point, why hasn't he actually said what his medical opinion might be? Because I really do think that Fauci's position has been a little bit more bureaucratic and paper pushing, more so than it has been investigating what's actually going on with the uh, mutation of cells. So, okay, so then here's the whole attitude that I really absolutely cannot stand. But let me have some more wine. Hmm. Okay. So the popular um, I think hedge, it's not either prosecuting or defensiveness, it's hedging. The popular hedge is he said, she said, and then it's just tit for tat, right? So the he said, she said, tit for tat. I will tell you, I'm going to have the final word on anything that has to revolve around my life. You do what you want with yours. Goodbye. Nice to know you. Say, sayonara. How do you say, I can actually ask my Chinese friends how to say goodbye in Chinese, by the way, and I think I will. But this is all childish. This is not an objective observatism. Okay, so here's my is my like the reason why I don't want to trust any Democrats is because they never questioned the um, statistical uh, deniability of the results of the 2020 elections. They never questioned it. Not one Democrat questioned why. So it's really almost like they literally want people to like believe that their machine dominion and the fact that they just like sent out like 2 ballots per person. They sent, yes, they did. They sent out and the fact that no Democrat wants to admit that is absolutely worth um, holding them accountable to. And I'm thinking that there might be one or there is no good Democrat out there. There is really, at this point, there's no good Democrat out there. There is probably only a few good Republicans out there. But let's go ahead and see. I mean, it's just, it's surprising because I don't even think that, like, for example, even my own representative here in Los Angeles has no concept of what statistics even mean. Does Jimmy Gomez know what statistics? Does he understand? Is he trying to say that you have no, we're going to talk, if we could just talk about these numbers, he would realize, but they don't want to. They want to corner everybody. Everybody's cornered. White people are being cornered by being supremacist, so they're guilty. Mexicans are being cornered by being Mexican drug dealers. So and at the same time, so they're guilty. You know, like everybody's guilty of something. So we're cornered. And then we just fit into somebody's box that we can't get out from, right? Oh, well, I don't know. Let's go ahead and consider that it is possible that we can get out of it. And the sun is so hot, it's burning me, and I really do want to go and move that. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up my Bible. And we're going to do, never mind it. Hang on. Okay. So I landed on Psalm. I do actually, I'm always naturally going to land on in the middle of the Bible, but I did land between Psalm 9 and Psalm 11, 553, and I'm going to start with Psalm 12, prayer against evil tongues. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. For the leader upon the 8th, a psalm of David. I, help Lord, no one loyal remains. Help Lord, for no one loyal remains. The faithful have vanished from the human race. Those who tell lies to one another speak with deceiving lips and a double heart. May the Lord cut off all deceiving lips and every boastful tongue. Those who say, by our tongues we prevail. When our lips speak, who can lord it over us? Because they rob the weak and the needy groan. I will now arise, says the Lord. I will grant safety to whoever longs for it. The promises of the Lord are sure, silver refined in a crucible, silver purified 7 times. Lord, protect us always, preserve us from this generation. On every side the wicked strut, the shameless are extolled by all. So yeah, no, that's like, that's actually absolutely correct. People that are kind of dirtied up, man, you know, I've been told I'm not dirty enough to be born poor. I should be dirty. I should be dirty. And then just like dirty me up. And they expect, and at the same time, am I supposed to be expected to feel that I'm better because my Lord has said that my Lord has actually washed the feet of his apostles, and my Lord has, and I'm supposed to be, but this is exactly what's going on right now. And so I'm gonna go ahead and put a bookmark there. Okay. So it's been fun, guys, but I'll just keep wearing every shirt I never actually wore. before in my entire life while I'm filming these videos, and we'll see how it goes. All right then. So, with that said, I hope that everybody has a great rest of the day, and